guys, welcome back to the Wisdom Knowledge Podcast. It's your girl Paislee, and today I got Billy Pilgrim in the building. Hey,
Hey,
how you
Paislee,
doing?
how's it going? I'm good.
It's just hot in Texas.
It's pretty hot in here in Atlanta too. We're supposed to have a very hot week, but I doubt it's like anything like Texas.
It's so hot. But anyways, okay, so tell everybody who Billy Pilgrim is.
I'm a male talent in the industry. I've been doing it on and off for a few years, but the last year and a half has finally kind of been breaking through, working with bigger names and companies. So it's kind of went from nothing happening to everything happening at once. And like right now, I think is like the beginning of my breakout kind of thing, where some momentum is really starting to build, and my name is actually getting out there more than I was aware of. There's a
Okay.
couple of, like in Chicago, Exotica, a couple of people came up and said, knew who I was. I was like, how do you know who I was? And people have been calling me for interviews, and I'm like, how do you know who I am? Like, who told you whatever? Uh, and I'm getting big enough that I'm already people are already telling me don't forget about the BBWs when you get all big and famous. And
Oh
I was
yeah.
like, I didn't know I was leaving, but no, I wasn't planning on forgetting anybody. And then there was a like a bullshit rumor kind of floating around, a very minor one, but I was like, oh, I guess I am becoming popular, that people are making lame rumors up about me.
Hey.
So yeah, I'm really excited for this upcoming Miami Exotica because it's going to be a really big deal for me.
Okay,
So
so why is that? Is that part of the big announcement?
yes, actually, yes, it is a big announcement.
Okay, so let's get into that and then we'll kind of backtrack.
All right. Well, the big announcement is that I'm going to be making my official studio premiere for Blush Erotica,
Okay.
uh, and I'm kind of become one of their new male talents, and I'm going to be shooting my first scene or scenes with them at Miami, and this is my biggest credit to date, the biggest company I work for.
Okay,
Uh,
yeah.
and so I'm going to be marching into Miami like Hannibal on that. I'm going to be promoting it, and Blush is a great company because they make very high-end content, and they want to bring back more of the storytelling aspect, and they want to bring back more of the sensuality with all different types of body types, and and really kind of separate themselves from the herd, which they do very well. And it's a company I've been wanting to work for a while. And I kind of did a little audition for them in Chicago with Princess Dandy, and
Okay.
she's incredible. And I hit it off with the people at Blush, and yeah, they contacted me the other day and said, are you available for a boy-girl scene or whatever? I'm like, gee, a paying scene with a major company. Let me think about it for a second. Yeah, I think I could find opening in my schedule for that.
Yeah.
I think, but so I'm really excited. I really like uh, the people that run the company, and I really like their product. And it's the kind of stuff that I want to make. I want to make stuff with more storytelling, with all different types of women, and kind of bring back a little production and a little a little sexuality to porn, which I think is
Yeah.
missing at times.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely like the storytelling part, so that's
Yeah,
always
and
my favorite part.
they do really cool stuff. Like they have like a voiceover and everything, and all the people they have working for them, male or female, are all like top names. So I'm really excited. I'm hoping. Well, I think it's going to open a lot of doors for me once the scene comes out and everything. And being on their platform and being one of their male talents is something I've been working towards. So I'm getting cards made finally. I'm getting stickers made. I'm kind of going in there to really push myself. But yeah, it's going to be. I've worked for other people, but this is my probably the biggest studio credit to date for me. And with the exception of like Score or Team Ski or like Plumper Pass, this is like
Mhm.
one of the companies I was really dying to work for. And I'm on radar for those other companies. So I'm kind of hoping now that I'm shooting for them, maybe now this will kind of maybe, fast forward some of the other stuff that's just kind of been on deck waiting. So this is
Okay.
the and this is the first announcement. Like I've been holding my breath this is the first public announcement that I'm going to be shooting for Blush, and they got some really interesting stuff. They're doing some interesting stuff with virtual reality that's going to be coming out.
Okay, yeah. I want to
And
see those.
that was a really interesting experience because that was part of the audition. I volunteered. I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever you need, because I want to get the job.
Mm-hmm.
And you just got to like lay flat on the bed, and then they put a camera like an inch from your face, and you, as the male talent, can't say anything. You can't move. You can kind of move your hands, and basically, it's like beautiful woman like you, and she's working towards the camera that's where your face is, and you essentially have to lay there. And I know it went very well. It was very erotic because Princess Dandy, who I did it with, is very, very talented.
Okay.
And she's really good at like kind of doing dialogue and everything, but I have no idea what it looked like because I couldn't. I could tell you how many marks were on the ceiling of that hotel room because I couldn't see anything other than the ceiling. Couldn't move your head. You couldn't say anything because it's all. And it's really interesting. I kind of liked it. And they asked, like, would you be willing to do that again? I'm like, yeah. And I have a bunch of ideas for that. You can really play off it. And they they encourage creativity and everything. And really
yeah.
I think you'd be like a good match for them in doing some stuff, maybe some voiceover or some character acting, because you got a great voice and you got a really good imagination and everything. So I don't know. Like I could see you eventually doing something with Blush Erotica.
Okay, yeah. No, I met them at Chicago Exotica. So I don't know, maybe.
Yeah. So I'm super excited. So yeah, I figured if I'm gonna come on the Paislee Hayes show, I need to bring something big. So
okay.
I cleared it with them. I said, look, I'm doing this big interview. Is it okay if I mention it? Because I don't have a lot of details yet. Like I said, I love women, so I'll work with anybody once, unless they're Republican. I like all different types of women. So I was like, well, just let me know the day and I'll plan my entire weekend around it. But I was like, I'm doing this big interview. Is it okay if I make an announcement? And and they were like, yeah, sure, because they didn't want to upset anybody before I got a chance to actually
yeah. That's for sure. Well, okay, so let's backtrack a little bit. Where are you from?
From Athens, Georgia, but I've kind of lived all over. I spent a good portion of my childhood living in New Jersey, which I don't really recommend. I've lived in Chicago and New York. I've lived in Australia for a time. I kind of bounced around all over the place. A lot of people always say, like, we don't have a Southern accent. I was like, well, not everybody in the South does. Mine's very slight. I kind of turn it on if I want to, or if I get a good buzz going, it comes out more. But also I'm partially deaf, so I think I have a weird voice to begin with because how your voice sounds is also developed by your hearing. That's why people who are deaf don't have a clear voice. So I think that has something to do with it too, because I've had a lot of ear problems. We were having a technical difficulty before the interview started, and mainly for whatever reason, my phone wasn't projecting your voice, and it was like, yeah, no, it'll be an hour of me going, huh?
Yeah, I don't need all that now. Okay, so what was life like before porn? Like, what were you doing?
I was a stand-up for about 11 years. And just kind of life is definitely better.
Comedian?
Yeah, stand-up comedian, yeah.
Okay, we gotta talk because I want to do a show. I have to do a show one time. I need to see if I'll make it or break it.
It's definitely it's a baptism by fire thing. I did it for about 11 years. Life is definitely better post-porn for a lot of reasons. I definitely enjoy porn more, and not just because of sex, like the people, the working environments, the stuff you create. Like I genuinely like everything better, but I did it from about 2003 to 2015. And I actually started with a lot of big names that are actually really famous now. And it's kind of funny because I think about, well, one day I might run into them again. and it's going to be interesting. Like, oh, you're in that new Marvel movie.
Mhm.
I just played a butler that, slept with the rich housewife. Like, how you doing? But yeah, it was fun for a time. But the problem was, by the time I found my voice and what I was good at, it just kind of wasn't fun anymore, and I just kind of lost the will to do it. So I just kind of stopped, and then I kind of floated around for a few years. Like getting into porn for me wasn't easy, so it took a minute. So I was kind of lost for a time. I'm a very creative person, so I kind of need some kind of outlet to do something. And
Mm,
I was never very good. Like with comedy, you have to be around all the time. Like
okay.
you just have to hang out, and it's very clicky. The one thing I like about porn more is if I did a good job at the Blush Erotica audition, so
Mhm.
they were like, "Great, we're going to use you," and then they're true to their word. Whereas with comedy, it's kind of you can be really funny, but it's like if you're not in the clique, or if they don't like you, or they find you threatening in some way, they can kind of like some comedians kind of hold you back, or showrunners. It's a kind of a I never really enjoyed that, and that kind of always would cool me off. Like I would get a little bit of steam going, and then something like that would happen, and it would just be like, all right, I don't want to fuck with these people, and
Oh
return
yeah.
it. Yeah, I'm a big I don't stick around where I'm not wanted type of guy. So
Okay, so where can everybody find you at? What's your Twitter? What's your OnlyFans? Your ManyVids? What's all
I my Twitter is Billy Pilgrim Triple X.
that? Okay.
My Instagram is Billy Pilgrim, the letter 3 or the number 3, the letter X. And my platforms, I kind of scrapped everything and rebuilding, because I've hooked up with some really good producers like Mr. Nuts and Team VP
Okay.
Media and Salacious Perceptions. So I'm kind of reorganizing all my content and getting it back up. So Billy Pilgrim XXX.com and Billy Pilgrim Triple X, basically for ManyVids, is going to be up and running within the next like week or two. It'll be ready by Miami Exotica. It's just a matter of getting his stuff uploaded again and getting them. They're going to help me with some of the production side, because as it took us 10 minutes to get the interview off the ground. I'm not a big post-production guy. It's kind of I'm very slow at it, so I needed a little help. Sometimes I don't know about you, but if I'm left to my own devices trying to edit something, I get inside my own head, and then I start thinking something not good enough, so I like re-edit the same thing like 50 times. And so I got some people now to kind of help me to prevent doing that. So probably when we get done, I got some work to do, but yeah, by within the next 2 weeks, definitely by Miami, like I'll have a site on X Bunny site, and
Okay.
my many, so and trust me, I'll be promoting it and pushing it ad nauseum. Like I said earlier, it went from nothing happening to everything happening, and then like working with amateurs, and all of a sudden associating with big names like yourself, and like Spooky Brat, and and Danica Denali. And for last year was very stop and start, where I as you need content to be consistent, and and I didn't feel like I had enough content to be consistent, because I would have these gaps in shooting. So I kind of sat on it, and then I got busier and busier, and finally when I had enough, I realized, oh, I'm terrible at editing, or I get in my own
Mhm.
head, or I discourage my.
Yeah,
And
sometimes you
then
just need that extra help.
yeah, and then it was like, and so now here we are. So now finally, that's why I'm saying everything seems to be coming together all at once. And it's
What's
funny
your
because no, go
oh,
ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I said we're gonna get the next one after you come back from Miami. So we can talk about your experience there and maybe who else you collab with while you're out there and stuff.
I'm very excited because I'm collabing with right now. Like I said, I'm waiting for Blush to give me an exact date so I can plan around it. But I'm working with Melissa Johnson, who is this beautiful MILF from Romania. Raven Bell, Danica Denali is coming down, who is one of my all-time favorite people and performers. I owe a lot to Danica. I can't say enough good things. Like, she has put me on the radar of a lot of companies and vouched for me a lot. That's actually how I came to know you and meet you. Like she's been a very huge supporter and a big help to me in my career. So I get to see her and work with her again in Miami, and a couple of new girls too. But the trick with Exotica is you want to book as much as you can because only about half of that's going to happen. Because we were supposed to do something, and the first day for both of us was really rocky. We never got to do the scene you wanted to do in the interview. Remember?
Oh yeah, because
Yeah.
You was having problems, I was having some problems, but
Yeah.
I
Exotica.
I'm glad we are all past that. But I
Yeah.
am gonna need to wrap this up. So
Oh, sorry. I hope I
yeah,
was. I could.
no, it wasn't you. We're just running out of time.
Okay. No.
It's about
Yeah.
to exit me out. So just
Okay.
I'm gonna put a little pause on this.